Hi, friends. Host Eric here. I was talking with those people. Let's all blame the FI people. Let's all blame them for this COVID bullshit because they put their feelings in front of my words and they believe their own feelings instead of my words. That's why we have this clusterfuck of a disaster because introverted feelers don't think properly. Sorry, that's how it is. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. If you have an introverted feeling in your front stack, boo! You support the COVID quarantine, probably. It's been a terrible, terrible misadventure of epic proportions. And I blame you, introverted feelers. I blame you all. Today we're playing blame and shame. I blame you, introverted feelers. I shame you, introverted feelers, for believing in this COVID bullshit. Despite me telling you very clearly from the very get-go how you were wrong, you didn't listen to me. And now we've got this disaster. Disastrous mess to clean up, thanks to you and your bad feelings. Bad feelers. Boo. Bad feelers. Stop using your feelings to be bad feelers. You know what I'm saying? I think you do. You're in agreement with me. I agree, Eric. That was dumb of me to think that this was a good idea. You were right the whole time. Thank you, introverted feelers. Thank you for admitting it finally. Well, I guess my party to blame the introverted feelers isn't very appealing to other people. Nobody wants to come to my blaming party. We're having a blaming party today. We're blaming introverted feelers for their dumb feelings getting in the way of logic and causing the world to fall into a state of disaster. And the moral of the story is, from now on, introverted feelers, listen to me, not your own feelings. Your own feelings are dumb and lead you astray. Whereas I am correct and tell you the truth. So you should listen to me instead of your feelings, feelers. Okay? Your feelings are dumb and lead you astray. Your feelings are leading us all right off the edge of the cliff. So take your feelings and shove them up your butt. And remember the lesson to take away from this. From now on, I will listen to Eric, not my own feelings. Okay? When it comes to policy matters, I will not trust my own feelings ever again. I will always listen to Eric. He was right about COVID. I've learned a lesson here. Good morning, John Henry. I'm venting a little bit this morning. I'm playing blame and shame. We're playing the shame and blame game today. And I'm blaming introverted feelers. I'm blaming them, I'm shaming them, and I'm naming them the source of the problem. I want to go out with the road with a sign that says, your stupid feelings are responsible for this fucking disaster. And honk if you're not a stupid feeler who thinks this was a good idea. I am so done with this whole COVID thing. Let me tell you. If they try to extend this beyond the end of April, everyone's going to freak the fuck out because it's so ridiculous at this point. It's so obviously a terrible idea that people still are trying to spin as though it were successful. Boo, feelers, boo. What do I have to say to you? Boo. Boo. You and your feelings. It's your fault. You and your feelings is fault. For everything's your fault. I blame you. nice. That's the first bonger for the day. Pretty juicy. Yeah. Right. Well, here's the craziest thing of all. What do you think is going to happen as soon as you can actually get tested and prove you've already had it and are immune? As I've already had it, I'm quite certain of it. I had this cold where I had a serious respiratory problem actually it wasn't serious, but it was much more so a respiratory issue than a normal cold would be. And I remember having trouble catching my breath. I went jogging one day and that actually got sort of killed the sickness. After I went jogging and really was like, then the next day I felt better and I got better from that point forward. The thing is this, I've already had it. Okay. So when I get to be tested, I'm going to get some sort of little card that says I'm immune to it or something like that will allow me to go about the world normally. What do you think is going to happen as soon as people can start getting tested and they realize there's an advantage to having had it and being immune? What's going to happen? By John Henry. What's going to happen? Everybody's going to try to get it. Nobody wants to be locked down. So what are they going to do? Oh, you have it, come hang out with me. I got to catch COVID so I can be immune too. So all this flattening the curve thing is going to turn into sharpening the curve because everybody's going to want to already have immunity. It's going to be like chickenpox parties. When I was a kid, before they had the chickenpox, is before they had the chickenpox vaccination. And the neighborhood parents, they had chickenpox parties. So if one kid had chickenpox, we all went over to that kid's house and played, and we all got chickenpox. And that's how we all got chickenpox. And that's how come I'm immune to chickenpox. What the fuck do you think is going to happen when people realize that if they've already had it, they're immune, they're free again, they can do what they want? Everybody's going to try to get it, of course. Chickenpox parties. That's what's going to happen. Duh. Morons. Nobody thinks. Nobody listens to me. I told everybody this at the very beginning. Nobody wanted to listen to me. Everybody wanted to be all panicky and worry about their feelings. Well, fuck your feelings. You've destroyed the world with your feelings now. And your wrong advocacies. So, meow to your feelings. Okay, introverted feelers, meow. That's what you get. Being so wrong. This COVID shit's pissing me off. Like last night, Rachel and I are scrambling to find a weed store before 10 p.m. because after 10, you got to order delivery. We're starving. We're driving around LA. I'm looking for McDonald's or something that's open, Frustrating. It's both frustrating and incredibly stupid and pointless. The worst thing of all is having been right about everything from the very first moment that the thing was talked about. I was completely correct about everything. And time has proved me completely correct about everything. That's the one redeeming quality about this whole COVID thing, is that I was on top of it from the beginning, calling bullshit, and the facts have proved me correct. And everybody who was arguing against me has now shut up. There's not any more words from them. They've given up that argument. There's no Anchors Eat Some Blood here saying, oh, this was a good idea. That's the good news. But I'm not going to let people forget the fact that they were wrong and that they shouldn't listen to their feelings in the future. They should listen to me. When dealing with matters of public policy, you cannot listen to your feelings. They are not relevant. So, yeah, am I blaming FI people for COVID? Yeah. Because remember, the problem is not COVID. The problem is COVID alarmism. The virus itself is just another cold. We've all had plenty of equivalent things in our lives. So, absolutely, I was correct 100 billion %. And everybody who disagreed with me about this whole COVID alarmism shit was completely 100 million % wrong. And there's no disputing that. So I don't want to hear any more pushback from anybody about this COVID shit unless they're willing to say, I am so sorry, Eric, that I destroyed the world with my stupidity when you were telling me clearly not to do that. Then I'll be happy to talk with them about it. They need to be honest. No more bullshit. Yeah, introverted feelers. You're getting my foot up your ass this morning. You are. Why? Because you destroyed the world with your feelings. Your stupid fucking feelings destroyed the world. I had enough of your feelings. So just shove them up your ass where they belong. Fucking feelings. I hate feelings. They're so stupid. Now, granted, obviously, this isn't my most feeler welcoming live stream ever. I'm going to acknowledge that if I want to attract and maintain an audience full of introverted feelers, I'm probably going about it poorly right now. But I don't care. I'm mad. I'm mad at everybody who was so wrong and pushed this bullshit on everybody. I am very upset. And the thing is, they have no excuse because I was telling them logically what was correct before when they still had a chance to decide things instead of just going with their feelings, You have to set aside your feelings, make a decision, and then feel accordingly. That's how feelings are supposed to work. What makes logical sense is what is worth feeling things about. And what doesn't, you should only feel mad about it. It's like whether or not I should be sad or offended is something that's very straightforward. Well, is there something to be sad or offended about? Are you justified in being sad or offended? Then if you are, then go ahead and be sad or offended. If you're not, there's no point feeling those things, obviously. Well, Board Chariot, this morning I am playing unfair blame and shame. I'm unfairly blaming and shaming FI people for the COVID alarmism. Yeah, what exactly if I have to do with it? People are gonna die! Yeah! I'm not gonna compare the amount of deaths to other comparable things. I'm not going to evaluate what we ought to do based on anything except inherency. Yes, there's a problem. I'm not going to pay any attention to solvency, whether my solution solves the problem. I'm not going to pay any attention to harms, what harms my solution causes. I'm not going to pay any attention to significance, whether my proposed solution makes a significant enough difference to be worth it. And I'm not going to pay any attention to opportunity cost, and real impact calculus. I'm not going to do any real impact calculus before making my advocacy. So why am I going to argue like that? Well, the reason is because I'm not using a disinterested calculus in my thinking. I'm using an interested calculus. What do I feel like is more important? Saving lives. I feel like that's more important. So I'm going to advocate that we kill a bunch of people in hopes that we might save a few lives, because I don't understand indirect impacts. That's why I'm blaming the FI people. I mean, my position on it is not that I have a counter advocacy. It's that people who made the advocacy that we quarantine in the absence of adequate data and in the face of contrary data ought to be deeply, deeply ashamed of themselves. Because as I was saying at the time, it's always a terrible fucking idea to act out of ignorance because of the ignorance. Well, we don't know yet, so we should freak the fuck out. No. Ignorance does not suggest any course. It does not support any course of action. It supports inaction. Fucktards. Well, I mean, that's why I'm deeply shaming them. Because they've ruined the economy and everybody's lives. And then it's like, what kind of a response is let old people and sick people isolate themselves, right? I'm not making a counter advocacy. The point is, obviously, this was fucking stupid, like I said from the beginning. We need to acknowledge that first, then we can talk about what we ought to do now. Well, look, Board Chariot, it is true that we operate in a world that requires some heuristics, which is to say we have to make some kind of predictions and base our decisions on incomplete information. But that's not the same thing as saying because the information is incomplete, we ought to do which was the argument being made with this COVID thing. Because we don't know yet how bad it's going to be, we have to overreact and treat it as though it's going to be terrible. That's what's called an appeal to ignorance fallacy. And that's not okay and leads to disastrously bad public policy of the sort we are now experiencing. The big difference between an appeal to ignorance and acting in the absence of complete information. I mean, I want to hear. I'm interested to see what's going to happen if Newsom says California is extending this beyond the 1st of May. People are going to freak out, I think, because people are done with this shit. I know I am. I am so done with this bullshit. And it's such bullshit. It makes no sense. Why is it that I can go to all these various places and do all these various things with a mask and it's fine, but I can't go to a sit-down restaurant with a mask? Well, I guess you got to take your mask off to eat. So what are we going to do about sit-down restaurants? We're just going to kill that part of the economy because everyone's panicked? It's fucking stupid. Lose the masks. Let it run a course, for God's sake. Let it run its fucking course. There is no shortage of ventilators. There is no crush on the health system. We are not even higher than normal capacity right now. We are lower than normal capacity. And have been since the start of this quarantine. We haven't flattened the curve. We've turned it into a dip. That's not what I'm saying, Lero Fajical. I'm pointing out that the arguments that people were making the whole time have all turned out to be complete fucking bullshit. Period. Now acknowledge that. You were one of those people, Lero Fajical. You were one of the people who said you wanted to reduce my arguments to let old people die. Now you understand how fucking wrong you were, right? Now you understand how fucking wrong and shameful you were in your advocacy. Fucktard. Again, it is not time for my counter advocacy. It is time for you to acknowledge the wrongness of your advocacy so you can take some accountability and be appropriately ashamed of yourself. Well, Lyra Fajiko, then you were part of the problem, weren't you? Now you need to be ashamed of yourself. So fuck off. Yeah, maybe I am just in a bad mood today. That's possibly true. This COVID bullshit's not putting anybody in a bad mood. Well, yesterday I got into an argument with somebody. But I mean, the people to blame are the FI users, obviously, because they don't think properly about how to decide to do things. Too bad we wasted all of our life savings on this stupid forced drunken spring break. Because we don't have those resources to actually solve a real problem when it arises, since we waste them all on this bullshit. Lyra Fajiko seems to think that the only possible thing that can make people die ever is COVID. And so we need to throw away all of our resources on this one non-problem. Well, sorry, that's reckless, Lyra Fajiko. That's reckless and stupid. And you should be ashamed of yourself. Most of all, you should be ashamed of yourself for reducing my position to let old people die. Because that's the kind of shitty thinking, shitty non-thinking that causes these sort of problems. I'm being realistic and honest. You're being dishonest and unrealistic. And so, saying that I'm responsible for people's deaths is so disingenuous and shameful that you just really... I mean, I argued this side before. I remember, Lyra Fajiko. I know which side of this issue you're on. Now all of a sudden you're pretending like you were always indifferent about it or ambivalent or something. No. You're not getting away with that bullshit. No fucking way. Yeah, we both know what kind of advocacy you were making. You were one of the advocates in favor of destroying the world. Now admit it. It was stupid of you. You were listening to your feelings instead of Eric, and that was what was wrong with you. Now, where are my cigarettes? I am in a bad mood today, huh? Our Claire got it right. She figured out the truth. The truth is, I'm in a pissy mood right now. I woke up mad at the world. Where the fuck are my cigarettes? There, I found them. Yeah, I want to blame you, $50. It's your goddamn fault. That's right. It's your fault that we're all locked down here in this COVID thing. You and your FI wanted to argue that we have to save every life at all costs. And now look what the fuck happened. You destroyed the world. It is, right? It's terrible for you. It's not good for people. People are getting upset. I mean, like, my fuse is getting short. I'm sick of this shit. And there's no fucking good reason for it, period. And who pushed it through? Who forced this through with their fear and their shameful lack of disinterested calculus about what makes good public policy? Who pushed this shit through? Introverted feelers, that's who. Introverted feelers. There's shame on you, introverted feelers. The moral of the story is listen to Eric, not your own feelings. When Eric and your feelings, they're in disagreement, Eric is right and your feelings are wrong. Damn, you're bored and listless. You need to write a rap that begins with that, R. Claire. But damn, I'm bored and listless. I'm tired of waiting for Christmas. That's good use of your time, Fancy Deluxe. I spend a lot of time blaming feelers. That's what I'm doing this morning. That helps. It helps to blame introverted feelers. Helps my introverted feeling a lot. It's your fault, Fancy Deluxe. I blame you. I'm blaming and shaming today. Which would you like? Would you like to be blamed or shamed? Fancy Deluxe, or both? You have 3 choices. Blame, shame, or both. If you are an introverted feeler, I want you to step up right now and say, I'm one of those people. You can you can blame me, shame me, or both. Can't be bored. FI and internet. It's not even bored. I'm not bored. I am pissed and frustrated at the lack of convenience, and the lack of liberty in general. I'm pissed and annoyed at every time I want to go do meow. I think, oh fuck, I can't go do meow. It's fucking COVID nonsense time. Like Rachel and I were talking about how we want to get this and this and this. Normally we go to the store and get those things, but like it includes this perfume that I want to get her to wear, and it includes some clothes that she needs to get. And it's like, I like to go shopping at the thrift store. Her clothes are cheap at the thrift store. She's like, well, I'll have to get it at the Gap or somewhere online. Or it's like, what the fuck? I can't find the yeast that makes my bread rise either. I do know exactly what you mean, R. Claire. I literally can't find any yeast to make my bread rise. No, well, that's the problem. People don't take accountability for their public policy advocacy. They don't understand that joining the wrong side of the argument is the same thing as being responsible for the thing. You have a responsibility to make the right arguments, or make no arguments at all. Well, that's fine, but I just want packaged of yeast. Well, I don't know if I'd quite call it a commie takeover, but it's definitely whether intended to do so or not, it conditions people to accept more control from the government. However, I don't think it's actually going to work because it's going to prompt these questions to be discussed some eventually as people start to kind of accept the reality that, oh shit, that was stupid. What did we just do? These questions are going to start to be asked and addressed. I'm just annoyed that things are no longer smooth, When you let everybody do as they please, things are smooth. When you try to coerce people into not doing what they please, one way or the other, things do not go smoothly. Necessarily. It's obviously the case. This whole for the common good thing is a dangerous line of argumentation. Who's common good? There has to be some actual impact calculus to establish that advocacy is going to produce good outcomes on balance. People who advocated this did not do that. And those who claim they did and still advocating in favor for it are lying. So I'm gonna smoke some of this blackjack now. Got two kinds of weed at the store last night. I got blackjack and no, caring a lot, philosophical thinker, unfortunately, has nothing to do with whether an advocacy is a good idea or not. In fact, a lot of times the people who make the worst advocacies are those who care the most. That's the problem with having FI in public policy. Caring a lot is not a good way to decide how we should affect public policy. It's a bad way to decide it. It's illogical. It's feelings. COVID bullshit. COVID alarmism. That's what Merriam W. I'm blaming all the FI people for COVID alarmism. For their lack of disinterested calculus regarding the public policy advocacy they all seem to support. Now that we've proved that it's fucking disastrously bad idea, I want everybody who was advocating in favor of it to acknowledge that and to say, in the future, I will listen to Eric and not my feelings when they are in disagreement. I will realize my feelings are wrong and Eric is right. Tell me why an ISFP-INTP relationship is bad. Tool polar battle zone. The SE polar of the INTP conflicts with the SE tool of the ISFP. The NE tool of the INTP conflicts with the NE polar of the ISFP. They can never understand each other. And yeah. In what way was it proven to be a disaster? Well, like I said, the goal was to flatten the curve, right? Except we didn't flatten the curve. We made a valley. In other words, hospitals and medical facilities are less impacted now than they were before the quarantine. So the motivation for doing this, which was that it was such a terrible thing, it would be such massive amount of harms that we had to just minimize them somewhat because we're still going to experience so many harms, that's proved to be bullshit, proved to be complete bullshit. And that's in the absence of a real quarantine. In this unfair state in which some businesses are open and some are not. And no, I don't think any types can go together well if they really try. I think it's ridiculous. I think COVID alarmists are I don't know. I don't know who to blame. I'm just feeling blame. No, my point is that the argument was it's going to go like this, right? But we want it to go more like this. But if you actually look at the impact on hospitals, it goes like this, which means the quarantine wasn't flattening any curve. It was unnecessarily shutting down the world economy for an epidemic that never happened. That doesn't mean it succeeded. We're not talking about being successful because, of course, remember, almost nobody's been tested for it. Like, I'm sure I've had it already, and I'm immune to it at this point. So it's completely unnecessary for me being quarantined. It's just a precaution. So we know it was a spectacularly bad idea. We just have to look at the fact that we made a valley. We didn't flatten any curve. And we can just start right there. It utterly failed on what its predictions were, and we can stop right there. All of its advocacy were based on those horribly bad predictions. So since they were terribly wrong and based on nothing, it was a bad advocacy. Period. We don't have to go any further than that. No, the test is only useful if you test people who don't have symptoms, Marion W. You have to test both people who don't have symptoms and those who do. Otherwise, your statistics will be horribly skewed like they are currently in the United States. If you only test the sickest people, your results, your data is going to be horribly, horribly fucking skewed, obviously. Think. Use your brain. I mean, that's a problem of a lack of TI there. If you're saying the test's only useful if you already have the symptoms, you're not understanding what data gathering is for. Okay, so in the absence of data, we don't make wild, unsustainable predictions. Right? In the absence of adequate data to make correct predictions, we don't act as though we've made correct predictions. Duh. Thank you, Miriam W. I appreciate it. You're also in a bad mood today. Yes, I'm taking it out of introverted feelers. Introverted feelers, I'm sorry, but you just get my foot up your ass today. And that's just how it has to be. I'm mad about COVID, and COVID's mad about me. I'm just mad about COVID, and COVID's mad about me. I'm just mad about COVID. COVID's mad about me. Bum, bum, I'm just mad about COVID. And COVID's mad about me. They call me mad at COVID. Yeah. They call me mad at COVID. Modern socionics. Another wrong incarnation of socionics. Just a guess. I gotta get Rachel up now. Chat amongst yourselves briefly. Rachel and I have an internet party to attend in about half an hour. Cataliapolor. COVID-19 is ESFP, a loud bastard who randomly appeared and can't help being ostentatious. Well said, sir. Here's the thing. It's very important that I came onto the internet here, onto the YouTubes, and vented about the COVID thing before I attend this shower with Rachel, this virtual shower, which I'm going to attend shortly. And I'm going to be an excellent significant other and be effie perfect as I can. Well, I tell you, I hate the lack of sports. That is surprisingly annoying to me. I really want there to be sports on TV. I'm so done with there not being any fucking sports on TV. Come on. What the fuck? I tell you who's going to be first back in the sports game is MMA. Dana White, he's a smart guy. He understands this is all insane and bullshit. And he was trying to get a fight trying to get fights going during the quarantine. What sports do you watch? I mean, right now I'd watch just about anything but car racing. I cannot stand car racing. Car racing is the dullest, most boringest sport ever. But I'd be happy to watch just about anything now. The other night I was watching old tennis highlights. I shit you not. I was watching best rallies from Wimbledon. It started with me watching a ESPN thing on the longest tennis match ever, that John Isner versus somebody else, Mahut. That had 10 complete sets worth of games in the final set because it had no tiebreaker at the time. Boxing is I think I've gained weight. Well, thanks, Alan Rose. I have been trying to get as fat and tasty as I can. Boxing is a cool sport. I like boxing, but what I don't like is Mayweather running away from people and winning fights. That I don't like. In a nutshell, I would say Floyd Mayweather Jr. is everything that's wrong with boxing. So anyway, having now successfully vented my anger and spewed it onto the introverted feelers of the world, may I just pre-apologize? I'll probably feel bad about this later and come back and apologize. So I'm going to do a little pre-apology right now. Prepare yourself for an apology later. But my favorite sport is college football, which hopefully won't be impacted because that doesn't start until the end of August. But I would be watching right now. My dad likes to watch tennis a lot. So, it's on TV inside the house and we'd be watching tennis. We would have watched the March Madness games, obviously, and that would have been great. I would have loved March Madness this year. I would have been able to really settle in and watch the full Thursday, Friday assortment of games. That's always fun when you can settle in and watch that first 4 days just straight through. Ooh, I feel a poop coming on. It's growing, gaining momentum in my buttocks. Inside of my buttocks, not on the outside of them. The Olympics got postponed. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh. Yeah, my bowels are a moving. Like towels are a grooving. When you got some poop inside of your butt, you got to move your bowels. Hi, Rachel Pachel.
Hi.
I'm vibe beaming right now, but I'm gonna wrap this up before too long here. Pretty quick.
What are you rapping?
No, I'm vibe dreaming. It rhymes with vibe dreaming.
I'm like very interested in this.
I'm live streaming.
Oh,
It's called what I'm doing today
damn.
in this particular live stream. Now, don't worry, I'm gonna wrap it up shortly.
Yeah, take your time. I'm just like so like out of it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds like something you do a live thing. And I'm like, oh, you're live streaming.
This is impossibly early for Rachel to be awake. It's 8:30 in the morning, but we have an important family activity to go to today at 9 a.m.
Yep.
And is it bridal or baby?
Bridal shower.
Bridal shower.
Yeah. I think. I don't think she's pregnant.
We're gonna shower her with brides.
That's a good idea.
Oh no, it's a bridal shower. Oh, it's poop though. It's really starting to roll towards the event horizon. You know, nothing ever escapes the event horizon in my butthole except Stephen Hawking's radiation.
Do you think that's what you're doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you're Stephen Hawking?
My Stephen Hawking radiation is escaping a little bit. It comes in the form of gas. But
could be out.
I'm going to have to go inside and let this poop out.
That's a winner.
So I'm
Good
going
morning.
to end this stream now. Well, Rachel, I got to get ready for this shower of brides.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I got to poop so badly.
Should I use my computer or my phone?